Hi guys, this video is about vitamin D, but I'm not a doctor, so can't prescribe you vitamins, and I don't ever give medical advice, so always consult your doctor before deciding to take vitamins, especially if you're on medication. And according to the Mayo Clinic, vitamin D can actually become toxic, but only in extremely high doses of 60,000 IUs if you're taking it for several months, which according to most research that means 6 months or so, which means you'd have to be taking 60 tablets of 1000 IUs a day, which would be a feat in itself. So there's not much danger of that, not without rattling when you walk anyway. Also, it's important to mention that people die each year of colds and flu, which is due to vitamin D deficiency. This is mostly old people, but vitamin D is important to our health, however old we are. As a side note, by the way, COVID-19 has the same symptoms as flu, so it is indistinguishable from it. And another point to note is that toxic chemicals are added to most vitamins and supplements, which can also be found in food, and this is why you should always read the small print. Always read the ingredients, people. I'll talk more about this in another video though. Anyway, back to vitamin D. Even though vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin, studies show that between 40 and 75% of the world population is deficient, even in hot countries like Korea, Africa and Australia, for example, proving that sunlight is not enough. According to studies by the Institute of Medicine in America, we need to be taking at least 800 to 1000 IUs a day, or 3000 plus a day for adults to reach sufficient blood levels of 30 nanograms. Dr. Michael Holick at Boston University Medical Center recommends 6,500 IUs per day for 8 weeks for his patients suffering from vitamin D deficiency diseases like osteomalacia, etc. And then to maintain levels just over 3,500 IUs per day, bearing in mind that vitamin D is fat soluble, meaning that high body fat levels can cause deficiency due to a higher requirement. But just how much is something you'd have to discuss with your doctor. Speaking of doctors, what about getting vitamin D from your doctor? Well, if you can't afford to buy it yourself, it's better than nothing, I suppose. But unfortunately, the vitamin D that we can get free from the doctor has a few additives. In fact, just looking at the capsule contents alone, the capsules I've seen anyway, have medium chain triglycerides and vitamin E acetate, which is a synthetic form of vitamin E made in a lab. The capsule shell has gelatin, which is made from boiled animal hooves and bones, and has the E numbers E422 and E420, which is why I personally would never take vitamin D from my doctor, as I prefer to avoid toxic synthetic chemicals, and have sought to do so for as long as I have been vegan, which is over 28 years now. Vitamin D is very important though, as it strengthens the immune system, or put another way, deficiency weakens it, and the most prominent sign of deficiency is lower back pain. And unfortunately, although vitamin D can be found in some food like oily fish, milk, cheese and eggs, it's also very hard to get enough vitamin D from food alone. 6 glasses of milk, for example, would only provide around 600 IUs of vitamin D, or one 100-gram serving of oily fish like mackerel or halibut would provide around 600 IUs, which is about a third of the whole fish. But even if you eat 3 servings in a day, that's still only around half of the recommended 3000 plus IUs, and unfortunately 1000 IUs in adults is not enough. Having enough vitamin D not only prevents colds and flu, but prevents low bone density too, which leads to osteoporosis and osteomalacia, and even thyroid problems. And most people are getting around 600 to 1000 IUs of vitamin D a day and are still deficient, because that's not enough to prevent these problems. So hopefully you can see why it's important that we get enough vitamin D. As for myself, being a vegan, meaning food is definitely not a way for me to get vitamin D, I take 4 or 5 1000 IU capsules a day, and the brand I use has no chemicals added, etc. I'll share the brand I use at the end of this video for those interested. And while we're on that subject, it's also important here to talk about certain chemicals all found in common foods and household products, which can lower your body's ability to convert vitamin D to its active form once inside our bodies. These chemicals include BHT, which is found in any processed foods that contain whole grains, including bread and breakfast cereals and whole grain flour. Then there's BPA/BPS, which is found in plastic water bottles, food packaging, toothbrushes, the plastic lining of most tin foods, and even in babies' teething rings. Basically, most things that contain plastic, there'll be BPA or BPS present. Then we have parabens, which is found in most cosmetics like makeup, sunscreens, and shampoo, for instance. Another version of this is methylparabens, which is mostly found in pharmaceutical drugs. Then there's TBHQ, which is a preservative added to chicken McNuggets, bread, waffles, crackers, and other baked foods, nuts, and cooking oil, but it's not a requirement to be listed on the ingredients, even though it can stimulate allergic reactions. So most people not only aren't aware of its existence, but aren't made aware by reading the ingredients. And last but not least, we have triclosan, which not only destroys good bacteria on your skin and in your mouth and gut, but also increases precancerous cells and is a cause of bladder cancer. Triclosan can be found in hand sanitizers, soaps, deodorants, and toothpaste, as well as countless other personal care products. I will be doing a video on better alternatives to these products if I haven't already by the time you're watching this, so look out for that too. This is the vitamin D I choose to take. If you use my referral link, by the way, which I'll put below this video, you'll also receive a 20% discount. That's on top of the discount received for setting up a recurring purchase by buying 3 packs in one go. And I'd also like to mention that this company also has very good customer service. Even though the subscription says monthly, I have had no fuss emailing them to change the frequency to whatever I prefer and still get the discount. So go check them out, and once again, until next time, stay blessed and thanks for watching.